Hello, and welcome to Two and a Half Days with myself, Al Thompson, Ryan McCready, and Stephen Youngson. And we do have a special guest today, the wonderful Robin Zetina.
Thanks for coming.
No,
You're the first guest on this podcast.
Second, Danny.
It feels.
You're the
First
second
real guest.
the first,
First
the one that didn't
comedian.
worm their way onto the podcast by hanging about.
Yeah, that's the game plan. Just wait.
Aye. So how does it feel to be a part of the Two and a Half Days family?
Distinctly average.
Aye.
That's fair.
Aye, that's been the reviews. Yeah.
That's kind of what we're aiming for.
It's good to hang out with you outside of like an open mic because for the most part we're just kind of we speak briefly on a 15-minute interval.
Aye.
And then for like 5-10 minutes at the end, and then it's like, okay.
See you next time.
So I know your acts more than I know yous.
That's fairly true,
It's
aye.
good to sit and shoot the shit and talk about movies I've not seen.
I know.
Al's got a habit of talking about films, and we're talking away going, he's like, you know what we're talking about?
No,
That's kind
aye,
of
they've
been a
done that to
running
me
theme.
twice. Have you seen Minority Report?
I'll have to see it.
Fuck this, man.
But see, I don't feel like you need to have seen Minority Report because I've lived long enough to know what that's about. You know what I
Aye.
mean? I think that's where I'm at. It doesn't matter.
Alright.
That's a good
See in the future, getting folk to jail for things they never done but might have done.
Oh, aye, because we were talking about that. Similar to Pierce Entry.
I have heard of
Aye,
that.
aye,
Yeah,
aye,
it's-
And when Stevie was in his tank.
Aye, you done the
Anyway, we're doing
Aye,
recaps
this
here
is
for you.
recaps.
I don't really know
Recaps.
why.
Callbacks.
callbacks to the episodes you
on the
won
most recent episode.
Yeah. So, Robin, you're pretty new to comedy. When did you start?
My first gig ever was, I think, the 27th of May.
But this year,
Oh,
Well,
last year, aye.
Yeah,
I'm
last
forgetting.
year, really?
My God, what year is it?
27th of May, yeah. Trailblazers in Edinburgh.
Oh, right, yeah.
Trailblazer. Yeah, not been doing it that long. Things have moved quick.
I think
aye.
they have.
Can I just say this? Obviously, we'll record one after this. This has got to depress a life out of us. Because we've got two acts on that are doing that are really fucking good and have been doing it a lot less than us.
Aye, but I'm funny, no? I've no shot a night then.
Oh, wait a minute. Where are we going here?
That's a story.
That was one time. One time.
Need to tell it.
So let's. How many gigs
Well-
in were you when you get the night shot then?
5.
Five.
It was my
gigs
first
in?
show. Yeah, so I done Trailblazers, and then I did the Panopticon in Glasgow, and then I did Lulsa. And at Lulsa, I was approached for this gig.
All right.
So after Lulsa, I was approached by Donna, and she was like,
Shout out Donna.
"Shout out Donna."
Love Donna Boyd.
Donna's, yeah. Everybody in comedy's mum. She's the best.
Yeah,
ever.
she's amazing.
I fucking
I've
love
yet
Donna.
to meet her.
Yeah, to me.
Well, you know what, Donna?
You'll
She's
love her.
amazing.
You'll love
I love
her.
her so much.
Yeah. Donna came up
I've
to me
heard
after
good
the show,
things.
yeah.
Aye.
And she was like, "We run this event for it's a dry event, so no alcohol, but the audience is game for dark humor."
Yeah.
And I don't know, you guys have seen me.
Aye, it's dark.
I teeter on the darker side of comedy, and she was like, "We'd love for you to do it." So I think I had one show after that. I think it was at Tennant's, and then it was on to that sober gig, and Glasgow it shut down.
And how can you like?
It was over a joke. It was one joke. It was so I did the gig, and I thought it went well. Like after it, like everyone was coming up to me and hugging me and stuff. Oh, I love the stuff, big man. Everyone laughed. I had one joke that died, and it was one that I'd written specifically for that night. It was the one that opened the gig with. So when it died, I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's a result for me. One joke dying.
I'm trying to remember what the joke was. I said it the other day because it's in my notes. It was like, it's a pleasure to perform for an audience of people that know exactly how it feels to have to clean your keys before you go to the airport. This was the joke.
I thought that was quite good.
It's like a sober crowd. They're like, oh, everyone's like recovering drug addicts and alcoholics. And I was like,
Maybe that's why he didn't laugh.
they were all just like,
We used to.
and I'm like, shit, okay. So us guys. Yeah, so I did the gig, and it went well. After that, they kind of warmed up, and I got through my set. I only did, I think, 5 or 10 minutes or something. That I wasn't headlining or anything like that. Show went well. Everyone was hugging me, and then Donna came up to me at the end, and she was like, "Robin," and I was like, "What? Like, well, what's up?" And she was like, "I would never ask anyone to apologize for their material," and I was like, "Okay." But you made someone cry.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I remember the bar staff, one of them had started crying after one of my jokes, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay." So she's like, "I don't want anyone to have to apologize, but like, we don't want to get cancelled." So if you could like say something, and I was like, yeah, of course. Like I'm here to entertain. I'm not here to offend anybody. Like that's the goal is never to offend. The goal is to entertain, which I thought I'd done. But so I went up. She came through the back, and then she was like fixing everything up. So I went up to her, and she was still crying. And I was like, fuck.
Still crying.
She was like still crying, and I was like, no, I heard that my material upset. Obviously I'm here to entertain. I didn't want to offend anybody. I'm sorry you didn't enjoy the material. I'm sorry for whatever happened that inspired this reaction to my material. And then as I was talking to her, she was very receptive and nice about it. She was just kind of like, she was upset obviously, but she was like, yeah, it kind of it is what it is. So I was like, while I was talking to her, this thing creeped over. And then she was like, if we knew your material, you never been allowed to perform. You're a fucking racist, homophobic, transphobic. She gave me all the phobics. Privileged, cisgender, white man. And she just went in on me. And I was like, how do you know I'm cisgendered, first of all? Like, we shouldn't be making assumptions. Given the current political climate. And Donna was standing next to me the whole time. And I'm so glad she was, because no one would have believed that conversation happened. Because it sounds like something from like a Facebook video.
It does.
Like one of those like weird interactions.
Karen goes wild.
It sounds like it doesn't sound real. Like if I was to tell you it without having someone there, you'd be like, okay, man. What really happened? She called you a cunt. You were terrible on the night, and that was it.
So can you say the premise of the joke?
No.
You did you know? You did. They tell it again, do you know?
If you want to see the joke,
Yes, go and see Robin's gig.
Robin has a gig.
In fact, I plug it. In fact,
I'll
I
be.
did forget to plug ours. But
We'll plug it at the end. Do yours at the end. But you plug away yours.
Aye.
So is it you yourself, or have you got somebody on?
There'll
with
be
you?
a few of us, so
Nice.
I'll be headlining. It'll be Friday the 15th of March in Tennis Laughter Lounge, with Sean Chalmers and Paddy Linton.
Oh, brilliant! So
I don't know. One of us will MC. Not one of us will MC. One of them will MC, and one of them will probably do some time at the beginning, or both of them might do some time at the beginning. I'll be doing like 30-40 minutes. It'll be my longest show to date.
cool.
How do you feel about doing that amount of time? Just barely started, really.
Fine. To be honest.
It's under a year you'll have been at that point then, eh?
I'll be celebrating a year in May. I'm stretching myself for sure.
Aye.
Because I remember like a month ago, I was talking to someone about doing it. It was Paddy convinced me to do it in the beginning. Because I was talking to him when I heard that the Glasgow Comedy Festival even existed.
Aye. I didn't know it was a thing.
I didn't know it existed
I found out about it last year.
until I was a comic, and I was like, I fucking love comedy. How do I not know that we have a comedy festival?
Aye.
And Paddy was like, yeah, we've got the festival. Like, you can do an hour if you want. And I was like, maybe not an hour, but I'll book it and see what I can get to at that point. So like it became like a creative challenge. So rather than writing to try and fill 10-minute slots, I'm now like writing to try and fill 30 to 40.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like really stretching myself as much as I possibly can to see how much I can cultivate in that time. But it's a work in progress show. So the goal is to get it up to the full hour. But this will just be like my first attempt at a half hour, 40 minutes. But like when I was on the road with Craig, we were doing like 15, like pushing 20, and I still had like a ton of material left. So I think it should be okay. I don't think it's going to be. I think we'll be fine.
The tour in a minute, but you were in a similar situation last year, weren't you?
Aye.
Where you booked a show in.
I booked a show in the Fringe because.
No, do you know the Glasgow Festival last year?
No,
you didn't. No, you done it outside.
I never
it,
done it. I done the Fringe.
I thought you'd done that at the Glasgow Festival first.
No, it was at the. It was at the Fringe, and then I done just one at Blackfriars, just myself. But it just pushes you outside your comfort. I never thought I'd be able to do that amount of time, and then before I know it, I'm 40 minutes deep saying cheerio every day. It's amazing how quick it flies in and stuff like that. And if you can talk to the crowd and work off them and stuff,
that's it, exactly, yeah. So like, there's one thing I found is because I was gigging so much, I got so comfortable on stage that I could dip in and out material and like go with kind of the flow of the crowd and speak to them a little bit.
Aye.
And it lets you kind of pull bits out of them, or like having a conversation with someone, and then it'll remind you of a bit that wasn't even in your set, and then you can pull that in, and then all of a sudden your 10 minutes is 15 minutes, and it's 20 minutes, and it becomes a different beast entirely. I think getting out of the nervousness of having to stick to the 5-10 minutes that you've pre-made for that, it just allows you to do so much more. Well, that's one thing that I found, just purely because I'd been performing so much. Like, I never would have got that if I'd just been doing Monday,
Aye.
Tuesday, every other week.
Totally, man. So it's Craig. Was it Craig Campbell's?
Yeah,
tour
Craig
you
Campbell,
went on?
yeah.
You and Sean Chalmers
How-
supporting.
How did that come about?
So initially, when I first got into comedy, and I think I'd done like 2 or 3 shows or something like that, 3 or 4 shows. I wasn't getting the feedback that I wanted, if that makes sense. Like, I wasn't getting the. It's like whenever you do any kind of job, there's always a more senior member that advises and guides you. Like if you're an apprentice or whatever,
Aye.
there's always someone more senior to you that, like, yeah, that's great, but try this.
Aye.
Rather than like arsing about and spending 3 hours doing something, they'll tell you how to do it in 10 minutes. And I wasn't getting that kind of dynamic. So I was trying to think of people that I could reach out to, and I seen Craig on the Side Splitter stage at Download 2018, and obviously you've seen him on live at the Apollo and Russell Howard's and stuff like that. And I just thought, let's take a fucking chance. So I just found him on Instagram, messaged him, and he got back to me a couple of days later.
Aye.
Like, I just wanted general advice,
Aye.
and like send him like my footage of me performing and stuff like that, and he came back with like gold. Just like little things like how to stand on a stage properly, like using the spotlight effectively, positioning relative to the audience, how to deliver materials rather than just like being this monotone thing. It kind of goes like set up, punch.
Yeah.
That kind of. So just little things that you wouldn't get unless you were speaking to like a pro.
Aye.
He's been doing it for 35 years or something. And we had we shared a lot of common interests. So like we kind of just started talking, and then he was performing in Aberdeen, and I was up in Aberdeen visiting my gran. My gran turned 90. Actually,
Oh,
it
brilliant.
wasn't just a joke. So he was like, come along, I'll put your name on the door. Like, enjoy the gig. So me and my brother-in-law went on. We spoke a little bit there, and then he was coming back up, and he was performing in Motherwell, I think it was. Motherwell Civic Centre.
No,
No, is it the Civic
Might have
Centre?
got
No,
cancelled.
It would have been cancelled because it gets shut down for asbestos or something.
But maybe not at the
But-
time. Depends on what
aye,
it's-
true,
It
aye.
must have been
Yes.
before that, because the
Aye.
gig definitely happened.
All right.
Aye.
Were you there?
I'm glad it
When
wasn't
was
now.
Did you dream it?
When was it?
Oh, this was ages ago.
Aye, it's only like
Aye.
the tail end of the year.
Because it was a comedian
Oh,
that pointed it out, saying, "What is that growing up there?" And it shut down.
Maybe it was him.
Maybe it was him. No.
Aye, it could have been.
Might have been
Might
Big
have
Craig, aye. Aye. Yeah, so I was performing that Friday in the Panopticon. I think it was my second time in the Panopticon, so I couldn't go to the gig. So we're like, we'll meet for breakfast and work out, because my gym was right next to his venue, and we like he's big into fitness. He's fucking ripped, man. Like,
Is he?
I remember we were training, and he's the only guy I've ever seen that can keep up with me in pull-ups. Like I do a lot of climbing because I'm a fucking weirdo. And
A good climbing hand.
fucking big.
That was climbing, by the way.
I was climbing. Yeah, so we went and like worked out and stuff like that. And he's like, I've got this tour coming up. If you want to come and do like a spot, like come and do a night or whatever. And I was like, fuck yeah, man. Like,
No, I
Some
jump at the
opportunity,
chance.
man.
I'm like,
Definitely.
100%. How long do you want me to do?
Aye.
So he was like, yeah, come and do. I think it was 14 dates the tour. He was like, come and do the earliest one. The first date was Dunfermline. So I was like, yeah, I'll go and do Dunfermline. He was like, you can do Dunfermline and Paisley. It was like one of the two early ones. Because obviously he's only ever seen videos of me.
Aye.
So I went and did the Dunfermline gig and roofed it. It was like, I think it was like 50 to 70 people in like this town hall thing. Tom Stade was on after me. So it was me, Tom Stade, and then it was Craig Campbell.
Oh man.
Oh, fuck,
What a lineup.
aye. Especially if you're under a year in, man. That's
Mate, fucking, I'll tell you more about that. So I did the gig and roofed it, man. It was phenomenal. Like I was fucking like,
shitting it.
date rape. just coming out, and I was trying to mix my material up, and then I got off the stage, and Tom was like, fucking loved it, man. And then Craig came up to me after and said, how many dates do you want to do?
Wow, that's amazing.
And I was like, I will do all of the dates, Craig.
Aye, 100%.
I think the next one I was going to do was Paisley. So I was like, right, okay, I'm going to do all these dates. So I was talking to Craig about, like, I know a bunch of killers from Glasgow. I know some really good comics in Glasgow. It'd be good to try and get a spot for someone, like see if I can get someone else on this lineup as well. And the first guy came to me with Sean, because I'd done a bunch of gigs with Sean. We worked well together, similar styles of material, but not the same, like kind of contrasting.
Aye.
He came and did Paisley. Paisley was a shit show. So the venue cancelled. The venue cancelled on us, and the booker just grabbed like the first venue. So rather than cancel, so the ticket holders didn't get anything.
Aye.
They just grabbed the first venue that they could get, because it was like a last minute cancellation on the day.
Oh wow!
So it was like the morning of.
Did they say why? Was it?
It was family issues, I think, was the justification they gave.
Oh, so it was the venue was going to be closed, sort of thing. So
The venue was going to be closed. They were like, family problems, can't open the venue. So they kind of left everyone with a
High and dry.
high and
Jeez,
dry, just fucked. The booker
shit.
found like a bar, essentially. So me and Sean went to the bar. There was no microphone. There was no stage. There was no lights. It was like a pizza bar. I think it was just like last minute. Someone went, yes, we'll take you. So it was like this big open plan pizza bar, and there was like football on and shit like that, because it's a fucking pizza bar. And there was just kind of like this small area about the size of this room, to be honest. Not that means anything to you guys, but not super big. I think there was maybe 12 audience members or something like that.
Aye, only 12.
Well, a lot of people just didn't show up.
Oh, because they thought the place would have been shut.
They were like, I think you could probably get a refund, or you could go. I think it was the deal, essentially.
Right.
So like 12 people showed up, and I went round and told them, Craig's coming. We're going to do it over there. We'll see what happens. So me and Sean went up and did 10, 15 before Craig, competing with the sound of like the extractor fan for the pizza oven.
Aye.
And I'm pretty quiet. You guys have seen me perform. Like I rely pretty heavily on audio amplification to try and deliver punches. So I went up and did this gig to like 12 people that could barely fucking hear me. And they were, to be fair to them, they were the nicest audience ever. They were game for it, and they went with it as best as possible.
I always find that audiences are better if they bought tickets. Like 100% they're a lot more willing to listen.
Because folk can just wander in off the street if it's a free gig, and
know.
they would have their back to you the majority of the time.
But even folk
Or
that
get caught
come
in a
to
gig.
free gigs are like, oh, well, I've no pint, nothing, I can't be bought listening anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Exactly.
Aye, it's a captive audience, and that's sort of like they're coming for that specific
Aye.
reason, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Aye.
That was so. Yeah, we did the gig a cappella, so to speak.
You couldn't even source a mic or anything? No,
No,
Just
like
to
I tried to. So there's there's a comic out there that's a musician, and I messaged him, and he was like in Edinburgh, big gigging, and that was like the last ditch hope was like to get a mic. So we just spoke loud, simply spoke loud.
Jeez, oh.
And then by the time Craig got on, who's the fucking only guy I've ever met that does not need a microphone, Jesus
Oh,
Christ,
no.
that, like he's fucking, he's got that Canadian sound, like he's just,
Dead
Projection.
bassy.
he could fill a room. Vocally, it's ridiculous. By the time he got on stage, the pizza oven was turned off. So it was just like fucking sound, man. But yeah, after that, like he told Sean as well, like you can do as many dates as you want.
Brilliant,
So
man.
That was that.
So it became the Wrecking Crew, as Craig called it. We just me, him, and Sean just
travelling about.
traveling about.
Touring
Yeah.
pizza oven bar places up and down the country, kind of thing. Like that.
Thankfully, that was the only pizza oven place.
Shouting
Didn't
at
have a
12
microphone. Yeah, no, it pales in comparison.
That's
so like,
amazing, though, man.
we did.
That's one of the ones that just like gone for it, really, isn't it? Like the kind
Something you
like,
can do, man.
Aye.
You can't say no as well.
No.
If he says how many do you want, it is just all of them.
It is just all of them.
Sort it after.
Because my work weren't super happy. Because I had holidays left, but like so I found out. I want to say it was like the Sunday. I think I'd booked the Monday off anyway because I think we were gigging. I think Paisley was the Sunday. I think Dunfermline was the Friday. There was one in the middle, Inverness, that I couldn't do. And I remember I think I phoned them on the Monday and was like, I'm not going to be here for like 2 weeks. And they were like, I guess you're not going to be here for 2 weeks.
I did take it like that. They're not trying to reason me or nothing, no.
There was no reasoning with me, mate.
I
was going on tour. There
I
was-
would never go back, but
To be fair, they were pretty accommodating. They were pretty nice.
well, that's a result then.
Aye,
They
definitely.
were just a bit like, can you give us more notice next time?
Aye.
Aye,
Next
but-
time that you Instagram of probably one of the biggest comics in the country, and
Aye.
Hail Mary on his entire tour, you want to give us a
Aye,
couple of
let
weeks
us
notice?
know. Aye.
Mate, it was one of those things. Like, I remember, like when he asked me to do the first one, I was like, "Fuck, man! If he asked me to do this full tour, I'm like that'd be fucking wild." And then, like after the first gig, he asked me to do the full tour.
That's
and I was
amazing.
Like, and then at the end of it, Tom Stade was like, "Give me your fucking phone number, man." And so, yeah, it was It's been a wild ride, man.
Aye.
Good stuff, man.
That's a result. See, in your first year to do something like that, that'd be fucking brilliant.
Aye.
Yeah. To be fair, I do put in a graft.
Aye.
Like I put. in a-
You're everywhere, man. I see you
I put in
everywhere.
a fair amount of work.
Mm.
I kind of that's one thing I figured out pretty early is the benefits of continuously writing and gigging, and just doing things and being out and speaking to people. And if there's a podcast, being like this,
Aye.
be nice to everybody.
Networking.
Aye.
Network.
Aye.
Kind of I don't like networking.
I know what you mean.
and then
It's like kind of like you're just doing it, but it's like getting to know people and like meeting folk and
yeah, just
Being professional, being there when they tell you
Aye,
to
no
be
being a
there,
prick.
kind of like
Aye.
turning
Just-
up, doing your time, and
being sound with everybody.
Aye.
That's the one.
Just be sound because we're all coming up together and we all want to work
Exactly, aye,
together.
exactly.
So it benefits everybody to collaborate. Like this,
aye,
this
work
whole, like,
together. That's
sitting away by yourself kind of.
Aye.
I don't think it doesn't benefit in the same way that all of us collaboratively coming up together does.
Aye, I
If that
think
makes
like the kind of groupie people that are coming up the new, I don't think there's any kind of like I don't think anybody's really jealous of one another or
No,
anything like that.
no.
It's always been kind of supportive. I mean, you'll
Yeah.
get one or two bad eggs, but I've
Get that in
I've
everything,
not
though.
really seen. I think everybody on the whole is pretty supportive of one another and stuff like
Aye.
I think it's the way it needs to be. I think
Aye.
maybe back in the day it used to be because like you hear like Rogan talking about like the old days of the Comedy Store where it was like everybody was out to get fucking everybody. Like
Aye.
that guy's got a job, therefore I don't have that job.
Exactly,
Aye.
aye.
That's just a Hollywood thing, I think. Though. It's-
Aye,
Can you imagine that being in Glasgow? Fuck.
that. I know. Aye, exactly.
Who are you
Stop
talking?
moaning.
Aye,
We're
wouldn't
not
it-
talking
wouldn't
to
it
you
work?
anymore.
Yeah, you're a fucking wanker.
Aye.
But yeah, because he's fostering that like the comedy mothership. I don't know how
Aye.
and that stuff. Like they're all very.
Have you
they're
seen the
all
lineups
comics.
for that? That's fucking mental.
Eh,
Like it's just like guys that are selling out stadiums are only doing 20 minutes,
Aye.
and there's like
They got to work
4
the
or 5
material look the same as everybody
Aye,
else, so
exactly,
you know
yeah.
what
I
I
know,
mean?
but it's like you'd usually just put one on as a headliner, but
Well-
the full bills stadium level.
Well, if they're touring though, aye, because they don't all stay here. But like, I think in that sort of way though, if Scotland's scene had the limelight on it the way Austin, LA had it on, it'd
well.
be the same. Because if you look at the lineups you've got here with our headliners, if you go to the Stand or you go to Comedy Cabaret at a weekend, it is absolute killers that's on
Aye, but
every
I
single
suppose-
one. You know what I mean?
it's just because it's always like.
I think it's just because you've seen them on the telly.
Probably, aye.
You know what I mean? There's that kind of thing. But like,
Aye, but
but I get the point. Aye, definitely. Like,
I seen one
still
that
a
was
massive
Bert
scene.
Kreischer brought on Theo Vaughan that brought on Shane Gillis. And you're like, that is a line-up and a half.
Bert Kreischer should be nowhere near it enough. But,
do you not like the machine?
The machine story was good when it came out.
Aye.
Machine story.
I'm sure I saw that in E-Bombs World. Is that all?
Still tells it.
I heard that on it was the Doug Stanhope podcast, so it was before he even put it on the they didn't have a special for it. He just was telling his story, and everybody at the time was going, "Are you going to record that story? Because that's the funniest thing I've ever heard."
Aye.
I think, well, that's a good story.
That's a good story.
Aye, it's a brilliant story.
It's a great
It's a
story.
really good
yeah.
story, man.
But even his Netflix specials and all that are good. I like them.
I think Shane Gillis is probably
Shane Gillis is one of the
Shane
best in
Gillis
the
is
man.
he's
Killer.
insane.
man.
Oh,
It's
it's phenomenal.
incredible how good he is.
Oh,
I'm going to I'll pull for Stavros. I like Stavros. Have
like
you seen
Stavros.
him? He's got
Who's
it.
this?
He's got the funny bones, man.
He's got a
Stavros
The-
Halkias.
The Greek guy.
He's absolutely brilliant, man. Oh
big-
man, if
big
you're talking about
glasses and all,
Netflix,
yeah.
go and just watch
Aye.
his. Aye.
his whole approach is good. Like he's
Aye.
got a full social media team.
Does he?
He was
Aye.
the first guy I heard of. Well, I mean, I imagine they probably all do it, but he's the only one I've heard of that done it. Where like when he started to reach that point, this could all be wrong. Don't quote me on any of this. When he started to reach the point where he was making money, he just employed people to deal with social
That's
media and content.
a
So
great idea.
like if he's on a stage and if he's performing, it's being recorded, audio and visual, in high quality, and then whatever can be captured and put out there is captured and then put out there and released into the world. So that his content is constantly flowing.
I think Matt Norman. He does that, I know. But like, who was the other one that's ruined
Matt
that kind of thing?
Like
No,
Matt
no,
Rife?
no, no,
Like,
no,
he's
no. I'm
pumping
going
out
all.
content.
Big fucking blowjob lip Rife.
I've lost it now, man.
A set of lips on him.
Aye.
no.
He's fucked it for his cell, man.
I like him more.
Oh,
I knew you went.
I like him more.
see the fact that he doubled down, you need to respect it.
um,
He's took it too far, but you need to respect doubling down and staying true to yourself. You can't.
but I don't know because like, his full thing was his crowd work and appealing to women. And then he went on to he done his show and then thought, I don't want to appeal to women anymore, and then just fucking.
No, but that was
But
the
is
thing.
is he said that, or is it just that's what people's
No,
perception
this
is?
is
It
what-
because
I
of the
don't
jokes
actually
he
know.
said?
This is the narrative that's been driven through his clips because he only
Yeah.
used to post
Yeah,
crowd work
true.
to stop burning material.
Aye.
That's normal, but that's.
But
Of
aye,
course, aye.
but then he became known as the womanizer crowd worker, and that's why he done the show to show that he can do an actual set, and that's how at the end he goes, but I only do crowd work because he can run a set.
To be fair, I've not seen the special yet.
No, I watched 10
It's
minutes.
decent. I fair enjoyed it.
I seen the joke,
That was
the joke that he got banned for.
Aye.
But the joke that he got
Wasn't even
banned for is a
that
joke that Dave Attell told like 20 years ago.
Aye, it's quite an
Aye.
old style.
Aye.
When
It's
I
like
heard the
a-
joke, I was like, that's a pretty
Aye.
old joke. That,
It's
you
like
know
an
what I mean?
old house joke at this point. It's like
Aye.
it's been recycled and told in a million different ways.
Yeah.
So, should that be in your special?
Exactly.
I'm not even performing it here. I'm in no position to criticise
Aye, exactly.
anybody's comedy
Exactly,
special.
aye.
He opened it.
I get
He
that.
opened his special with it.
Was it?
It was his opening joke.
He's
Was
not.
it the opening joke?
Aye.
It's not my. It's not my type of comedy. It's
Nah,
not. something-
Nah.
it's
It's
not my
subjective,
type, but I
innit?
can
That's it.
enjoy it for
I
what it
respect
is.
it. Aye.
I
Aye.
respect basically anyone that's willing to step on a stage and tell a joke.
Totally, man.
Aye, it takes
Aye.
balls.
Aye, of course.
Just because I'm not
Anybody
willing-
that's
yeah.
ever picked up a mic, you need to respect them.
Takes a set of balls, man.
I found the name. It was Andrew Schultz. That's who I was. He was the first guy I seen that had the full
Phenomenal.
team, the full
Oh.
like, media team behind him, kind of
Aye,
thing.
he's
Like
good, man.
that kind of done
Schultz
wonders
is
for him,
brilliant and
man.
all.
Schultz has done something special. Like I love Schultz.
See what he done me. It was it Infamous when they put it behind a paywall and all that, and
Aye.
said there was only selling an amount of copies, and then took it down after it sold the amount of copies, and then just put it up for fuck all.
Aye.
But you can only get away with doing that once, because the next time you try to do it, somebody's got to go. Oh no!
But it's more like I think a lot of people done this in an event thing, isn't it? Like
Aye.
it's like they're going to see it live, kind of like.
And nobody
that's
felt done
essentially-
out of money. I
It's
don't think it was too
having,
dear.
it's
It
having
was-
your fan base. It's like
Aye.
Radiohead done with Iron Rainbows.
Aye,
Like they released that for free.
but you could pay what
You can
want.
pay what you want to it. So there'd be folk paying an amount for an album, and then they released the album anyway,
Aye.
and then folk bought it again. But it's just like, oh, I had the.
You had
I've
it when
got
it
the
came
receipt
out.
for
aye.
the original.
I've still got the old emails and that for that kind of
Have
like
you?
trash can or something, or trash something. I can't
Aye.
remember what it was called. And because they done it for something else, they used that as like a mailing list for a wee bit, man. But I remember buying it at the time.
Aye, so it's all about being kind of part of it.
Aye.
When it's hot, you know what I mean? Kind of.
But it's interesting, I think, in that sort of way, comedy kind of does that now. Like the YouTube stuff, a lot of people will stick a special out on YouTube because they either they can't get their name in the door for the bigger things if they're at that point, or they just realise you can build a better audience yourself by just putting your content out to the people. The homemade stuff is kind of better than
Well,
that
that
because
seems
like
to
that
be the
was
new
what the
thing.
musicians had to do at that point because. Like obviously people stealing their things off of Napster or LimeWire or whatever they were using because like Radiohead done it, but also like Pennywise done it. Pennywise,
Oh, really?
like one of my favourite bands back in the day. They done an album for free straight onto MySpace.
Fucking MySpace.
Aye, man,
An
straight
album
to
on
straight to MySpace. You could
Is it, I
download it.
just,
Did you have a MySpace page?
I must have just missed it.
Are you even
Aye.
a Bebo guy? Did you have a
I had a
Bebo?
Bebo.
I had a
I had a Bebo and an
What age were you?
MSN.
Like 2.5 or something? Like
I
you just
was about 6, I think.
That's mental.
that was the problem with Bebo, man. I would go back to the MySpace days. I fucking hate social
I want
media.
a Bebo back.
I would have a MySpace
Yeah,
again.
Bebo probably still exists.
It
Mine
doesn't.
still-
They
mine's-
did for a wee bit. They
They
got
did?
bought. The guy that
Aye.
had it sold it for crazy money. It went to shit, and then he bought the name back for like $1. You know the way that the other people do. He tried to make it a streaming service, like to compete with Twitch, and it never did. It lasted
Because
about
Twitch
6
was
months.
originally was it Justin TV.
Aye, I think
that,
so.
Where you had all the
Aye.
snuff films and that one. And it was,
Well, of course, that's what
Good
you're
old
watching,
days.
Alf,
I know.
and then about your viewing habits.
Let's talk
The
about
other
Manhunter for a minute.
What was that?
Did you guys play Manhunter?
No, I never played Manhunt, man.
Manhunt,
I
PlayStation
played,
2?
I played
Oh,
Manhunt. It was
I
a
played that a
Rockstar
couple
game.
of times.
But I
Aye.
never had the full game. My mate had it, and I'm like,
Aye, I was the same. My mate had it.
Aye, I've got it in the house.
of course you did.
Aye.
You've got an unopened
Sure
case,
as
and like
face.
limited edition.
I was far too young to be playing Man. I think it was like a similar thing. Like my downstairs neighbour was older. He was like, "Have a shot at that wee man."
God,
I'm like taking Spyro out.
And that's why
Let's put Manhunter in. Oh, like
I
that's
mean,
like
that's the thing though with Manhunt, but it was like it wasn't. I mean, it was a Rockstar game, so it was always going to be pretty gory and stuff. But it wasn't as gory as like much else out there, was it? Really? Was it?
I'm sure
when
like
you look at it now, probably no, but you obviously.
you can like one of the opening missions. You sneak up behind a guy, cut his head off, put it in a carrier bag, and then throw it to distract another guy.
Oh, well, that's pretty dark. I
And
couldn't
is that not
remember
how
that.
it got banned?
Yeah, it got banned.
Aye.
It got
Because
banned.
a guy killed his pal?
I think it was banned in Australia,
Oh,
and then
did he?
some wee guy killed his pal, and they blamed Manhunt on it. I blame bad parenting personally.
Aye, I don't never really understand.
He was on too much sugar. I'm like, what do you want me to do?
Aye.
Cocoa Pops that morning.
No killies, pal.
No, come on.
Come on.
We all
Like,
know.
so you gave him shit.
We've
What
all
would you
been there,
expect?
fuck's sake.
Too many dip dabs and he's a mass murderer.
Fucking 2 dip taps and a kitchen knife. What did you expect?
I'm pretty sure that on the back cover it did say that. If you took the inside sleeve out and read it, it says "Do not play under the influence of dib dabs and sherbet." So, like,
Yeah, for sure.
so it was
Crack
null and
cocaine,
void.
however. Manhunt, what a
Coughing like a
masterpiece. I
bastard
think they
with
made
the
a sequel to Manhunt as well.
I think they did. I think they did make maybe 2 sequels, but I
Aye.
don't remember them even being allowed to be released. They probably get released
They're
in certain
probably-
parts of the world, but not everywhere. One of the
It's
ones.
probably sitting in a hard drive somewhere unreleased.
I
Oh, you
remember,
probably get it in Steam now.
I think the second one, you're like you trapped in a house in the second one. There's a guy with a pig mask and a chainsaw trying to get
That's
you.
right. That's the last mission.
I think we've discovered what's wrong with me.
Aye. You play these games young and then
I'm
20
like,
years
yeah.
later you're getting gigs shut down.
I'm like 6 years old watching Blade 2. Oh,
Oh, Triple H wasn't that?
No, I played Trinity. Was in,
Was he not?
I was in Blade Trinity. That,
Was he not?
I'm sure
Abomination.
it was played Trinity.
I liked Blade 2 though. Let's see the
that was
things
the Reapers.
that opened like that. That was cool as fuck. I thought.
I've
The
never seen
original
Blade.
Blade is just.
See, I think I've only ever
Incredible.
seen Blade. I mean, I've not
Aye.
seen any of the other ones.
The opening scene's still one of my favourite opening scenes.
Oh,
ever.
the
100%.
original one.
The bloodbath.
Vampire
Bloodbath.
bloodbath thing, man.
What do you
Aye,
call
the
it?
meat place.
Nightclub?
Aye.
Aye,
and
aye,
then the blood comes through the sprinklers and all that. Oh
Aye.
my goodness.
I'm
me.
gonna do that at a gig eventually. See when I'm big enough.
What, just have blood
What?
coming out of the ceiling?
It's gonna happen. I'm gonna do it in the Kings.
Oh my god!
sake.
Are
If
you,
I ever sell it at the Kings,
are you talking about getting places shut down?
Getting the king shut down there.
bring a fucking coat to this gig, ladies and gentlemen.
Selling like the Alton Towers ponchos outside.
Aye,
The vending machine.
Mandatory. No, you'll have to.
Aye.
I go into weird places. I went to see Bring Me the Horizon there on Sunday. Were you not there?
No.
It was amazing, man. You should have been there. They were like going on stage and there was pyro and shit going off, and I was standing with my brother and I was like, if I get big enough, I'm gonna have fire. 100%. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have explosions at my shows.
Just a wee thing.
Just a wee. As I'm walking on
Punchline.
the
You say a
stage,
punchline that doesn't go just quite how you expected.
Who was it that done that?
Joel Dommett.
Aye, he gives a random person in the crowd the button.
Oh, what?
yeah,
I've not seen
And
that.
he says, "Oh, you just use this whenever you want to use it, mate. Whenever it feels comfortable for you." And he's like, "Oh, I've had a tough year. My mum passed away."
Aye.
And it goes off.
I mean, that's basically, if you've ever watched Kill Tony, that's pretty much every single episode
Aye.
of that.
Aye.
You're like, somebody else go, aye, if we just call it, my mom just passed away. Air horn just gets blasted. It doesn't, without fail. And the worst thing that people say, air horn.
yeah, big Brian Redband's an absolute legend. Just sitting there with the fucking sound effects panel and nothing else.
Right.
Just fueled on Red Bull and autism. That's- I love Kill Tony. What were we
So,
talking about?
I don't know.
Jump, that's what happens.
This is
You
what
jump-
happens.
Bring Me the Horizon, as you said. What's your music background as well?
I love everything. I'm a firm believer that there's good music and bad music, and I love good music. And it's subjective depending on the person. Like, I don't understand why people listen to Taylor Swift, but I'm also kind of scared.
Oh, I've a bit of Taylor.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
scared to listen to Taylor Swift in case I get into Taylor Swift. Like, I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to break that hymen. I don't want to.
No, it's nothing better than sitting in a pub on a Sunday afternoon belting out Love Story.
Now you go home and
I
suck
love
off
it.
your boyfriend. So,
have a daughter. That's what happened to me. It's, she get right into Taylor Swift, so no, I'm a Swiftie.
I'm
A
worried.
Swiftie.
I'm worried.
Daddy
I'll be what
Swiftie.
become one.
Aye.
This might be a place for me to confess then. Like, no Swiftie, but like me and my wife, were together 20 years last year. And
No way.
so we went
Congratulations.
to London for our thingy, for like a wee celebration to see Harry Styles. I was
Aw,
dragged
nice.
along, right? But we went to see Harry Styles. So I feel still a bit dirty about that.
How did you
That
pack the strap on in the bag?
Right.
Did you stick it at the top? Or?
Here's the. Since we're going for it,
Right.
I had to sell my Harry Styles tickets, so I never went to that. But, true story.
True story.
True story.
Don't feel so bad now.
I got tickets
You missed out.
to
Big Me
Stereo
Horizon
Funk.
and Harry Styles, you
Who
missed
did
out.
you see?
Stereo Funk.
Stereo Funk, right?
Aye, the man down at Strathie.
Aye. So I'm going to see Stevie Lennon, that used to be the DJ
Aye.
in the Mega Bar.
I know her, Stevie.
Right.
And who else is there? I think Venga Boys are there.
Are you
Boys?
kidding? The Venga
Eh,
Boys are coming to
No,
Oh.
no, they're not there. Were they there last year? KLF.
I've heard of
KLM.
KLM's a fucking airplane company.
No.
That's a Dutch airline, KLM.
I know.
KLF. I'm going to see.
KLF, is it?
Is
I
that-
don't know.
I'm alright with that then. I am. I'm not getting my
That's-
metalhead ticket to that.
I don't know. I'm a diehard metalhead, but I also used to listen to like DJ Tiesto and
Aye.
who was the Bass Hunters? Remember Bass Hunter?
I saw Bass Hunter in the Mega Bar in Motherwell.
The Bass Hunters come to Marlow, Mega Bar, man.
He done a wee bit of tour,
Jesus
because I'm sure he done one in Cope Bridge or something.
No,
like
he done it in Mega Bar in Hamilton Palace in the one night. I mean,
Did he?
I think we've got it hard.
that. I know.
Fuck that. We just went in, press play.
I know it was really that.
Aye,
And
Paul.
then they apparently had sex with somebody. And,
Aye,
What a
shut up.
surprise.
The life of a DJ.
Mm.
I, for one, am shocked.
Well,
Aye.
my first concert was GLS. I think
Oh, aye, tell us
I was
that,
at that. Was it the one at the Hamilton Racecourses?
No, it was
No.
in the
that was
CCC.
it. No, I went to see them. I say I went to see them. I was taken. It was a phenomenal show. They did some
Taken
Michael
because you
Jackson.
asked.
Yeah,
I
I was
was-
like, Mum, please.
I was took along with my cousin, my sister, and I'm like, I'm not really fast, I'll go. And then I came back with a green jumper.
I knew that. You guys see that? Came back with merch.
Green GLS jumper. Loved it. Had it for years.
So what was your first gig then that you chose to go to?
My first gig actually was 50 Cent
Oh, right.
on his Curtis tour.
Oh, cool.
Which I
Well,
think was
you've
the
won
last
top
studio
trumps,
album he
haven't you?
released.
You've won top trumps.
Aye.
It was a kick-ass gig, but I think he was late. He was late as fuck. And I remember standing in the crowd and just being this wee guy, because I was like 12 or 13 or something like that. And yeah. Just surrounded by all these massive cunts. And his ad for, like, I think he like invested in vitamin water or something
Aye.
like that.
Oh,
It
aye, aye.
just kept playing and playing. And then the opener, Fabulous, came on. And like,
Oh,
done-
no way.
yeah, Fabulous was opening. I think it was 50 Cent and Tony Yayo. I could be making shit up. Fabulous opened the gig and then went off, and then again this loop of just this vitamin ad.
Aye, vitamin
I was
water.
like, is he getting paid per ad? Like, what the fuck, man?
I
don't
hear
even-
that for billions, but no.
I don't even think they sold it in the UK at that point.
Yeah,
Like, it
probably
was
not.
just looping,
Ah,
and then
probably
eventually
not.
50 Cent came on, and he didn't do a full song. Like, he done like
Snippets.
snippets of all
Ah.
of his tracks.
Oh, man.
What'd you call that? Like a mashup type thing?
Aye.
medley.
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 Aye.
Yeah, because I remember I was standing in the audience. I was like, this is fucking weird, man. Like, this is not how that song goes.
It's
But
just-
yeah.
So you didn't play a full song?
No, he done like halves of songs and bits out of songs and stuff like that. And then at one point he was on a podium, and I think he stripped off twice.
Aye, I like to get his pecs out.
Like, he got his top off, threw into the crowd, and then he took his shoes off, threw them into the crowd, and I was like, that's fucking lethal, mate. That's like a size 16. Like, you could kill 3 people. And there was like fights going on in the crowd over his t-shirts and
Oh,
stuff like that.
man.
And I was like, Jesus Christ. But it was a kicker. It was a fucking awesome gig, man.
So what, did he just play for 2.5 minutes then? Like what? Did they do a
Did they
full
have a
set?
full
Did they
set
do a-
except just
I've-
no full songs?
I've no idea how long he was that he actually performed for. I know he was late, and I know that like all of his songs were like cut in half.
I think you were spiked at it. I'm not going to lie.
I was 13. so
Spiked with vitamin
maybe
water.
I
got been spiked.
I was on the dib dabs before I got in.
Yeah, no meant to sniff them, aye.
I went home and stabbed my
Carrying your
pal.
pal seed in a carrier bag.
You're not meant to snort the dabs.
fucking news to me.
That does not surprise me.
Yeah, my taste is pretty eclectic. I'm a massive metalhead.
I saw you share. There was a picture on Instagram that you shared, and an In Flames song was in there.
Oh, nice.
But likely, yeah,
Aye.
I seen him Flames with. I think they opened for Disturbed and Avenged. I think they did like a triple headliner gig.
Fucking hell.
It was phenomenal, man.
Okay,
It was
guys.
ridiculous. I wasn't even massive into Avenged at the time, but like Disturbed, like I love Disturbed. I'm a massive David German guy, and I went to that, and then I was like, I'll stay for Avenged. We'll see how it is, and then I left an Avenged fan.
Aye.
I quite like Avenged.
Yeah,
Avenged
Van Damme
Sevenfold we're
never
talking
get
about
into.
just
yeah,
so
yeah.
right. What I need to clear up is I know fuck all about music, and Alan and Stevie love music. So I just sit here like a cabbage and just listen to them rant
Cabbage.
about music and then pipe in me something.
You know 4 bands or something?
GLS is one of the bands.
Yeah, this is one.
Did I even name, when I named the original bands, did I name GLS?
You might have done, aye.
I don't know. I says I could name about 4 bands and it took me about 12 minutes.
So,
Sorry, guy.
the first band I ever went to see was Lost Prophets.
Oh yeah, that
So-
that was before
You win.
the
Is that the band
controversy?
we don't talk about?
You don't talk.
I lost profits.
Aye. I mean, I wasn't during it or anything. Like, I wasn't getting invited backstage or anything.
I was gonna say, was he like late because he was fucking about in a paediatric ward or something?
No, well, that was my first. That was my first gig. So it's no as Embarrassing.
Is that the one? Is it Rooftops he did?
Aye.
Listen, it's a tune.
It is.
It's a,
Shinobi versus Dragon Ninja is still one of my favourite songs of all time.
When did you listen to it last? Kind of thing?
Pretty
Recently?
I
Aye.
fucking love it, man.
No, I couldn't.
I know.
Man.
I listen to it quite low.
I
though.
couldn't.
Is this separating like the artist for the?
Aye.
Aye.
Like one of my favourite bands was I've spoke about this thingy. Their thingy lead singer's just been kind of as a absolute no user kind of thing, like an assaulter. And I've not listened to them since, man. And I went to. I followed that band. I've seen them about 7-8 times. Just no.
What was the band?
Anti-Flag.
Anti-Flag.
I just like. Canada and
The Ignition remix by R. Kelly.
No.
Still a tune.
Right, here's my story. Here's my story about Ignition remix. That made me drop Higher Info Systems at school. That song, right? I was crashing Higher Info Systems. They didn't do any computing in Info Systems. You just wrote on a notepad. That wasn't quite what I was sold as it was. But that song had just came out, right? Oh, like computing.
Computers.
Oh,
accepted.
But whenever you go
I
into
didn't know
higher,
if it was a music thing.
no, they call it info systems. It's no computing anymore. Well, at the time, didn't feel like it. But
Aye.
I had a double period, right? Double period, and that song had just came out. So it's 2002 internet, you know what I mean? So they could only really like download one song. So that song got played back to back for a full double period. And I went down to my guidance teacher and I went, I'm dropping that class. And they were like, why? I'm just like, can I go back in? No, it's not for me. And it was basically because of that song. I could have been making computer games today rather than sitting talking to you. But
no, you
cheers,
need to
Stevie.
Kelly ruined my life.
Cheers, Stevie. That's brilliant.
You truly have suffered the most at the hand of R. Kelly.
Looking at all my life decisions lead back to that moment. I think all my life decisions lead back to being given bad advice at school though, right? Because there's another point in my life. This is why I was crashing info systems, because I didn't do computing in 3rd and 4th year because my guidance teacher, right, you're talking to them, this is obviously 2001 kind of level of guidance teacher. And everybody's telling you, around about that stage, work with computers. Work with computers, right? And I'm like, right, I'll work with computers. And I went, right, sir, I don't know what to pick. I've got computing or I've got admin. And the guy went, well, do you want to build computers or do you want to work with computers? I'm like, work with computers, take admin.
Fucking hell.
Man.
Right? So I'm like, and I was like, it was only a wee while ago I thought about that. I'm like, man, that's one of the points in your life could just have done that, isn't it? I mean, you like, mental. So
Aye.
I got fuck all at school, man.
I got a C in info systems.
did you like Remix to Ignition? Is that the reason you get a C?
I was much
in the
I
kitchen.
hate it.
I was much the same, but I left with a massive piss fetish. That's what they did to me, man.
I missed it.
R. Kelly pissed and folk.
Oh, right.
Aye,
fetish,
he enjoyed taking a piddle on a unsuspecting individual.
Yeah.
Where's the suppose.
Wayne's,
I think
he pissed on
anybody's
Wayne's.
unsuspecting if you're getting
Aye.
pissed on. I don't
don't know
need
if-
these.
No, because there's some people
That's
that what's his name? Patrice O'Neill. He found out that he had diabetes because he pissed on his girlfriend at the time and it tasted like Skittles. And that's how he
What?
found out he had diabetes. You need to go and get checked. That tastes like Skittles. I went and get checked for diabetes.
Fucking
Excuse me a minute, Patrice.
like,
Excuse me.
yeah, giving it.
So do
While you're up there.
diabetic people's piss taste like Skittles?
Have we unlocked a fetish here, Ryan?
I don't know, because I'm quite fond of a Skittle.
Aye. Well, there you go. I mean, do you want me to piss on you? Because there's a very good chance.
Oh man, yeah, I got fuck all at school because I remember that meeting with the guidance counsellor, and I think I crashed higher physics or something like that. But I remember sitting across from her. I don't know what was wrong with me at the time or now, but I remember sitting. She's like, "What do you want to do?" And I was like, "I really want to be a carpenter. I want to be like Jesus." Was what I said, and I think it was like at the time. I think Meet the Parents had just came out, and like
Right.
Owen Wilson in Meet the Parents was like a carpenter.
so is it?
Right.
And like, there's a scene where they're like talking to him, and he's like, "I just want to be close to God, man." And like, Jesus was a carpenter, and like that stuck in my head. And I was like, "That sounds like a good idea. I want to do that."
So you just went for the look rather than the skill set.
Yeah. The only wood I can handle is my own.
Yes. So I was going to say the way that you deliver comedy is like nobody I've ever heard it before. Like it's very kind of. Is that like? Did you plan that? Because it sounds as if you're giving somebody a quest in Skyrim. To be honest with you.
I do kind of look like that. I could slap on some scale mail.
Ah.
Who wants a fucking quest? Go find the pissy skittle. No, it's just kind of so when when I started writing material, like all my jokes, I can show you them. They're all written like in a modular method. So like rather than it being like a 10-minute story with punches throughout, I write 10 separate jokes. So that for me to build a 10-minute set, I just take 10 jokes. Like I'll have like a pool of 30, and I'll be like, right, okay.
Like 31-minute bits kind of thing.
Like 31-minute bits, and then I'll just take 10, and that's a 10-minute set. And then if I remember, I can like dip in and out. Like, so say like I do some material that's pretty severe, and the audience is like, ugh.
You can.
Then I can like pull something else a little bit if I can remember. Unless they've upset me, then I go harder. But yeah, so it's just kind of the way I always wrote. So when I was initially looking into comedy, my background's in engineering, and I'm a bit of I've got a bit of the tism. So I remember looking into it initially, and I read something somewhere that said you want to have a laugh roughly every 20 seconds.
Yeah.
That's like the perfect pace. Every 20 seconds, laugh is what you're aiming for. So I cultivated it like set up punch, set up punch, set up punch, set up punch. So roughly every 20 seconds in my set, there's a laugh, and it just kind of came out of that because I try and write to subvert the expectation of the audience.
Yeah.
So that they can't tell what the punch is before I deliver it.
Yeah.
And it kind of comes from how I enjoy to consume comedy, because I've consumed so much comedy in my life. Like I'm so massively desensitized. I don't think we've got enough time for me to get into it, but I'm so massively desensitized that it takes a lot to make me laugh. And for a comic to make me laugh, like, there's only a few like big ones that actually get me going. Like they need to beat me to the punch, if that makes sense. You know what it's like, because you guys consume so much comedy, and like when you're watching someone perform, you can kind of see where they're going with it before they go there.
I was going to say, as a comedian, you find when you're watching one, you know you're watching it as a comic rather than a viewer. Do you know
So
what I
when
mean?
they rug pull you somewhere completely you weren't expecting, it's brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. So that tends to be how I write things, because I'm much the same as you guys. I think when you're watching someone, you're like, I can see where the punch is. You're like, okay, good job.
So it's still good, but
like it's still good, like from an audience perspective. But as a comic, maybe I write more for comics. But from the perspective of a comedian, like and I can only write what I enjoy. Like
of course.
I could never do Connolly. Like I love Connolly, but I could never match that because it's not the
storytelling's not your thing.
I
You
can't-
get this.
yeah,
others
I'm
can
the
let
same.
you do it.
I love Connolly, and he makes me laugh, and he's one of the reasons I'm a comedian. But he's not. But like, if I really want to laugh right now, then I would go and find some fucking severe dark comic, because I watched Connolly when I was like 7 years old.
Yeah,
And playing Manhunt.
I'd go play Manhunt and then fucking take a piss in a Wayne.
Thank fuck it's no me getting
I know.
called that.
You look.
Sure.
You make Ryan look better.
Aye.
But yeah, so that's kind of the reason I write the way I do is to, because I'm trying to hit that punch in 20 seconds roughly, and I want to hit it hard. So I tend to be quieter and slower to build tension. It's not deliberate. It's just kind of how I ended up doing how my style developed performing over the last year. So I tend to go slower and calm and quiet to try and build tension, so that when I do hit a punch, it hits a little bit harder. That's kind of the idea behind how I write.
That's
and
true.
how,
Build suspense.
it's how the way. So like, I used to be. You've not seen me in a wee while, but I something I've developed, especially over that tour, is making good use of silence.
Aye.
So like, there's a lot of comics that like it needs to be like punch, like the audience still isn't finished laughing, but just taking that extra couple of beats. It's something that I took from. So one of my favorite comics is Dice Clay, Andrew Dice Clay,
Aye.
who famously would just go on stage and stand there
Aye.
and smoke.
This
and
guy.
just fucking. What's in the bowl, bitch? And then. And he would just like just take his time, and he was super comfortable bombing. Like it doesn't make any difference to him. So once I kind of managed to move towards that mentality, it made it much easier for me to perform on stage. It takes the sting out of the nervousness that I get before I go on.
You can take your time.
And like I'm very comfortable now, just sitting in the pocket of silence before moving on with something else.
I think that's something you can get as well. See, like I take it when seeing have you done the stuff with like the tour and all that. You weren't there where you want to go like 10 minutes and get off kind of thing. You were kind of, was that like what you were, or were you like kind of?
Craig was super chill with it.
Yeah, so it gives you that opportunity, so you're not like looking down. Oh, I had a callback that I can't get to now because used my time more, like to let the joke grow, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
And that tour was the first time I used callbacks. I'd never done it before.
I was going to ask you about that then. If you're saying that you did 30 minutes worth of stuff, do you, when you're planning the moot, then if you go, right, that one kind of links to that one, so if I put that one in the beginning, I can talk about it too for the end or something, you know what I mean? Or use it as my last joke and then kind of pull a narrative through with it? Or do you bother with a narrative for it?
I've got somewhat of a narrative. So the way I close shows now is that I talk about the being banned, being cancelled, like closing that night. Is kind of how I end the gig. And that, funnily enough, that section started off. This was actually something Tom Stade said when we were talking about my comedic style, because these short one-liners that I have now can then kind of they kind of branch and become slightly bigger as things get added. But so the last section of my show was initially, I wrote it as like a couple of one-liner sections, and then I was talking to Sean about it, and he was like, "You should put that at the end." Shout out to Sean Chalmers, thank you. He was like, "You should take this joke that you've put here, put it at the end, tie it together, and then this will have more of an impact. And you can kind of get away." Trying to say this without giving away my full fucking set.
No, you don't need to say it. I get what you mean. Aye.
But yeah, so whereas in the beginning it was very one joke, 20 seconds. Now like that section at the end has become kind of more fluid and somewhat more of a story, but it's still just a series of one-liner jokes. Yeah. So that's kind of the one element of continuity, I guess. I don't know if you've seen the most. You wouldn't have seen the most completed version.
No, this one was at Ryan's and the Cherry Tree.
Okay, yeah. So I'm kind of doing that a little bit more now. I guess somewhat, but it's still very much one-liner based.
I can tell you came from an engineering background. I've never thought he'd stand up the way you've explained it.
Especially when you said modular, I'm like, what's he done as a joke? Engineering makes sense now.
Yeah. So I try and design everything so it's modular, so that I don't need to worry about things. I can just take 10 jokes. I've got a spreadsheet of jokes.
Cool, man. I've heard of people with a spreadsheet. I wish I had that spreadsheet when I was doing it.
No, I've just got notes.
I've got my notes written the back of painkiller boxes.
Aye.
I'm a pure council comedian, man.
I grew up in a scheme.
Aye, but I lost that many notebooks. I just started writing it in the back of painkiller boxes because I can lose them. I've got one main notebook in the house.
Write them on your phone then.
Phone.
But I'm a bastard for losing phones.
But OneNote or something that keeps them
I've got notes
together.
on my phone too, but I've got my main structured Polish 15 on the back of a painkiller box. I keep my rucksack. Just so I can look at it before I go on stage.
I had one of your books in my house for ages. I looked through it and I'm like, you can take it back.
You're gonna like Carlos Mencia some material.
No, if MD fund my book, they'd never be able to read my handwriting, so it wouldn't have made any fucking difference.
What's it Colin Higgins?
Colin Higgins once described my handwriting as I look like I keep peas in the freezer.
It's pure fucking jaggy and all
it's
that.
like chicken scratch, man.
Man, if anyone found my notes, I'd be in the jail.
Is it a manifesto? Is that what it
like, you think the shit I say on stage as well? See the ideas that it comes from?
See the stuff that doesn't make it.
Oh, Jesus, I'm like,
I could believe that, man.
Well, this has been an absolute lesson in comedy, and I didn't actually think.
Don't take lessons from me.
Don't listen. No, don't take punchlines and stuff because I kind of want a career eventually.
Yeah, that's accurate. Yeah, fair enough.
But there we go. This is.
Is that us?
Aye,
pretty much.
Let's do 2 more hours.
2 more hours? No. We want to keep this podcast going as long as we can.
Right,
Let you go for 2 hours.
I'm already pushing the boat out here. I'm a bomb scare.
Aye.
You're a bomb scare?
Aye.
Okay, that's fair enough. Allahu Akbar and all that.
Yes. No, that type of bomb.
No, that type of bomb.
Well, put it this way, you're worried about people find your notes, I'm worried about people find my hard drive.
And I think that's
the type of thing you get taught in information system.
Aye.
Lesson 101, how to delete a hard drive. You do look like you know how to delete a hard drive.
I've deleted a fair few in my time.
Fire always works.
Right, guys, before we get any further.
Thanks for coming in, Robin.
Thanks for having.
Anytime, man. Anytime. Were you going to Lawson?
Thanks for having me.
Were you sent to Lawson?
I think we are after. We've got another one to go.
Another podcast.
You've got the great and powerful Mick Mac.
Mick Mac's coming on next week.
Fucking love that guy.
Next week, guys.
Next week he's coming on.
So we've still got a gig though ourselves, don't you? Where's your gig? You got your date and your time for your...
Oh yeah. So I'll be doing my headline show will be Friday the 15th of March in Tennis Laughter Lounge, 10 p.m. I am the Late Show. You can find me at Robin Z Comedy on Instagram and Twitter. I'm mainly active on Instagram. All the details are on there. I'll also be running a live Dungeons and Dragons show on Sunday the 24th in Tenets After Lunch. So
Nice.
it's going to be me and some comedians and some actors and actresses just playing Dungeons and Dragons live. I'm a massive D&D guy.
Oh wow.
So I will be Dungeon Master Zetina. And it's going to be a full D&D session. Like it's going to be 3-4 hours.
Oh wow.
So it's not going to be compressed into like a 1 hour session. It's going to be like a full
quality.
full session with a break in the middle. A one shot adventure that
Have you got a one shot in mind for it, or
I've written it.
You've written the one shot for it.
So
Nice.
it'll be in my own world.
Nice.
I've got
This is going to be the weirdest, darkest world ever invented.
It's not bad. Funnily enough, my dark material doesn't blend much. No, it does. It's going to be rough.
I was going to say, are you the murder hobo DM rather than the party becoming such?
Yeah, I'm like Rock's fault. Everyone dies. Makes new characters. Cunts. Disrespect me with your RP.
Stephen, you're like a Maffy seat there. I'm pretty sure Stevie will be there.
That's what you got. Well, bring it like I've really just as in, I'm not kidding. Like yesterday, have to start a D&D hang out with people that I work with. 'Cause I'm Warhammer is my game.
40k.
40k, yes, and
nice.
Underworlds is my.
What's your army?
Usually orcs.
Orcs?
Usually
The
orcs
boys?
and everything. Aye,
That's the boys.
I'm orcs and everything.
See Warhammer, right? See orcs. Is it true they just believe shit and
Aye.
it comes true?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Right.
literally they go like that
That's hilarious. Yeah.
because they think it should work
Aye,
as a gun.
some about
Aye.
the colour red makes them faster. And
Aye.
stuff.
If they're purple, they're invisible.
I used to
'cause you
work.
never see a purple.
I used to work
Yep.
with another virgin that talked about it all the time.
Fucking Mr. Delete a hard drive over
If you can see Robin, you will know he's definitely not a virgin. That's
No,
me.
I'm a sexual deviant. Come to my show.
A Greek god.
Yeah, that's
Come
cool.
to his show.
And we've got a show as well, didn't we?
Aye.
We are the
17th
17th.
of March at the Van Winkle's West End.
West
Oh,
End.
nice.
Always.
2:15.
2:15. We're in
No.
the brochure. Are you in the brochure?
Nah,
The-
man, it was like an extra 20 quid. I don't have that kind of money.
Oh, don't worry, Ryan isn't either.
You pack
You're
one
still in
job
it.
in.
You're still. But yeah, so come and see all of us at the Glasgow International Comedy Festival,
Yeah.
and we will see you when we see you.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
Thank you.
tickets aren't live yet for the D&D. They might. When does this come out? Next week?
On Monday.
Should be.
Monday, aye.
The tickets might be live by then. Check my Instagram. It'll be on
Aye.
Instagram.
Follow him. Get him
Follow me.
followed.
All announcements will be on at Robin Z Comedy.
Cool beans.
Right, thank you.